Hello everyone, Melanie here with CGL, and today we're going to be talking about finding a job in a city other than the one that you live in. Now, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider doing that now. Ring that bell for notifications, and if you feel that this information is helpful at the end, give us that thumbs up. Let's get started. Now, when we talk about this, it could be various reasons that you're looking for a position in another city. It could be because you know you're going to be relocating to a new city for personal reasons, or it could just be you've always wanted to live somewhere else. Well, unfortunately, with everything being so electronic in the first part of the job process system, it makes it very difficult for job seekers to sometimes make themselves attractive to companies and recruiters in the different cities and countries. Let's go through some ways that you can do this now. Where I want to start with this is taking a look at your resume and how you handle location on it. Now, first, let me say, you do need to make sure you are tailoring your resume to the actual country that you're applying for if you are looking international. There are definite differences country to country on resumes. For the conversation I'm going to go forward with today, we're going to be talking mainly about in the US in the format that we utilize here, which is actually used in lots of other countries. But if you know that yours is different, you might want to just do a little Google research on your preferred resume format for your country. Which if you don't have a resume yet, we do have a video on that. Make sure you take a look at that and it'll show you the resume format that I recommend to get you past all of these applicant tracking systems. Okay, so let's talk about, again, on your resume, your actual address. There is no need anymore to put the first part of your address, which is like the number and the street name. And there are some people that even say you don't need to put the city and state and zip code on your resume either. And normally I actually swing the other way a little bit on that, saying I think that if you're in a city and you're applying for positions in that city, it's beneficial to put that information on there so the companies and everything know that you are a local candidate. Now, if you're trying to go somewhere other than the location that you currently live in, you may want to remove that from your resume and make sure that you're getting looked at all your skills and experience first before somebody is honing in onto your actual address on your resume. So let's now look at the same thing from your LinkedIn profile, which hopefully all of you have a LinkedIn profile. If you don't, please go get one now. Go create one. It's free. It'll be the best thing you ever did as a job seeker. But let's talk about for those of you that do have it. So you do only get to choose one primary location on LinkedIn. So how do you let people know that you're interested in other locations on LinkedIn? You do that through the open to new opportunities setting, where you can choose multiple other locations, either cities or states or even countries or continents. If you're not familiar with that setting, we do have a video that covers that as well. Please make sure you go back and watch that, and it'll help you set that appropriately. But I want to dig further into this location on LinkedIn, because as you've probably seen from looking at our behind the scenes type of videos, when you do a search on LinkedIn Recruiter and you're putting in a location, the system defaults to people who are currently in that location. And they have to actually choose the open to relocate as a separate radial button in order for you to see people that are willing to relocate to that city as opposed to people who are currently in that city. So what does that mean for you if you are trying to relocate to a new city? Well, if the relocation is going to be happening one way or another and you are going to be moving to that city, it is okay to change your main location on LinkedIn to that new city. And that way you come up into the current location search as opposed to the one where they have to choose open to relocate only. Now, I never ever want you to lie or falsify information. And I don't believe that this is doing so on your LinkedIn profile if you know 100% that you are relocating to that city. Let's say, for example, your spouse is relocating with their company to that city and you know you're going and you have to find a job there. The only thing, if you do make this change, you need to really know that the company is not going to be looking at offering you any kind of relocation. They're going to be assuming that you are going to be in that city already. So don't be anticipating or even expecting any type of relocation dollars, which nowadays, with as tight as it's getting with the economy, I'm not seeing a lot of relocation dollars being offered one way or another anyway. And the other thing is, because you're putting yourself available in that city, this is not some time that you're going to be able to tell to an employer, well, I'm not actually going to be there for 4 months, so I can't start work until then. Don't make that location change on your LinkedIn profile until you know you're getting close. I would say as long as you know you're within a month, maybe a month and a half, because it will take you that long to get through their entire application process, and you'd normally have a 2-week notice in the US anyway. So you can make that change on your LinkedIn profile so you come up in the searches more often, as long as you fit within all those parameters. So how else can you get around all of these applicant tracking systems? Remember, the best way to find a job is through someone you know. See if you know anybody in that company that can hand your resume through, or try to gain a network connection there. Utilize alumni from your school, people who worked in past companies similar to you, people who are part of the same professional associations you're in. Try to get a connection so somebody will walk you past all of these applicant tracking systems into the hands of the right person. Another way that you can get past all of these applicant tracking systems is by recruiting firms. If you're targeting a certain city, I recommend you connect with recruiting firms in that city. The reason for this is smaller companies like to use recruiting firms generally that are closer to them. They like that personal connection. Now, I'm not saying don't target the ones that are nationwide recruiting firms too, but you definitely want to look at ones that have some kind of branch office in the city that you're looking to relocate to. They are just as good many times as that employer referral. They get you past the applicant tracking systems into the hands of the hiring manager or HR. And the recruiters are usually, in good times, a little easier to get a hold of than the hiring manager for the position that you're looking at. Okay, so now let's talk about how you find positions in those specific cities. And of course, it's easy to go on to all the top job sites and just sort by positions that are in those cities. But I want to give you some other resources as to how you can do this. Now, let's take a look at across the US. The Department of Labor and the unemployment agencies actually have information for you about this. If you go online and you look under unemployment claims and go to the government site for the state that you are targeting, every single one in every single state in the US has a place for job seekers. Now, I will say on some of them, I don't necessarily agree with all of their career advice. If I see one more person telling you to bring your resume down to 1 page, I'm gonna go crazy. Please don't do that. But that's another video. Anyway, what I do recommend is you go to the unemployment claims site for the state that you are targeting, and then go in and look at what they have for job seekers and the job posting system that that state has. It's gonna tell you more than just the positions that are posted within there that you can apply for. It's also going to tell you the employers that are in that site. You may see a company that has posted a position for an admin assistant, and maybe you aren't interested in that admin assistant role, but you're going to get to see the company that posted it. And then go off and do some research to pull up that company's website and see what other positions they have posted on their company page that they may not have done with the unemployment office. It's not an easy put it on your website and it automatically goes there. So it's important you do that back digging to also find positions that are available for you in those sites. Thanks again for joining me. As always, if you feel that this information was helpful, please give us that thumbs up. And I would love to hear in the comments below if there is anything else that you'd like us to talk about in regards to location and looking for positions in different cities. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.